Dubai Eye 103.8.
This is The Ticket with Mark Lloyd and Steph Bergen.
The Tickets.
Gig Trippin'.
Yeah, we're talking music, gig tripping this afternoon. We've got a siren in the studio. I like having
Yes, we
sirens
have.
around. Who's just actually flown in. You've been overseas, haven't
Yeah,
you?
I've been in the UK last week, so I literally flew in this morning.
Fantastic. And this is Beth, who's joining us, Beth Burrows, who's going to be starring in Sirens of the Silver Screen at the Act. So tell us about the show.
Well, I mean, it's a bit of a new concept for Dubai because Dubai's never, as far as I'm aware, had like a dinner and cabaret concept.
Yeah.
So it's the first of its kind in the region. And essentially what I've done is I've written this show around who I think are possibly the three most iconic sirens of the silver screen of the last century. So that is Judy Garland, Audrey Hepburn and Marilyn Monroe.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that quite a controversial list, or do you think most people would agree with you?
Do you know what? It was really hard because I had a huge shortlist of starlets that I wanted to do, and maybe they can come in future shows. I picked those because I feel like they're some of the best known, and I really like their lives and their songs and their material.
And they're very contrasting as well, aren't
They
they?
are.
The styles are very different.
Yeah, I mean, put Judy Garland against Marilyn Monroe, it's quite a...
I mean, is it pretty difficult to, handle all three vocally? Because they are quite diverse, aren't they?
Yes. I mean, the difficulty actually isn't so much individually handling them, but switching between voices is quite difficult.
Yeah.
Because on sort of one end of the spectrum, you've got Judy Garland and she's sort of pure musical theatre voice. And then you've got Marilyn Monroe and she's really breathy.
Yes.
And that's the difficulty, is not so much their individual songs, but actually just moving between them.
Be exhausting.
A little bit.
It'd be quite funny if you ended up doing one as the other
Yeah.
by accident.
Yeah, I know.
You've cursed me.
Shall we have a little listen to Beth in character? Here we go. This is part of the show.
Yes.
With my high starched collar and my high topped shoes and my hair pulled high upon my head, I went to lose a jolly hour on the trolley and I lost my heart instead. With his light brown derby and his bright green tie, he was quite the handsomest of men. I started to yen, so I counted to 10, then I counted to 10 again. Clang, clang, clang went the trolley. Ding, ding, ding went the bell. Zing, zing, zing went my heartstrings. From the moment I saw him, I fell.
Well, I think we all agree that Beth's got a pretty stunning voice. That's awesome.
Good pipes.
And is that a Judy Garland piece?
That is, yes.
Yeah.
That is the trolley song from Meet Me in St. Louis. So a Christmassy film, actually.
Just put a smile on my face. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Me
too. Yeah.
How many people are going to be in the show, Beth?
It's just myself. Well, I have a fabulous pianist called Stanislav Fajuk, who is awesome. So he is my knight in shining armour on the piano. But in terms of actually who's performing sort of all the different sirens and all the songs, it's just me.
Wow.
So how much did you have to study your the actual, not only the singing, but the lives of these ladies to really pull this off?
A huge amount, actually. It kind of felt like going to Sirens of the Silver Screen University, to be honest. 'Cause I pretty much sat with my computer for a week just watching documentaries, reading online about them, looking at interviews. And that footage is also, some of it has made it into the show.
Yeah.
So it's not just singing, it's not just acting. I've also got original footage of them in shows and in black and white interviews and things. So I think by the end of it, I may be a little bit sick of them. I'm ready for 3 more sirens. But yeah, so it's pretty intensive.
Yeah.
Well, what did you learn about these 3 sirens that maybe you didn't know about before? Because I think most of us know the general story of Marilyn Monroe. I'm not too familiar with Judy Garland, though, and I'm sure there's a lot about Marilyn Monroe that we don't know as the general public.
Yeah, a huge amount, actually. I think the thing that I learned the most was that they're all remembered as being very sparkly and kind of shiny and glamorous, but that in a way couldn't be further from the truth.
Yeah.
So just to kind of put it in context, Judy Garland and Marilyn Monroe both died from drug overdoses, and Audrey Hepburn died from cancer. So I mean, it is a happy show in the sense of it celebrates their lives and obviously the high points of their careers. But there's lots of stuff like Audrey Hepburn, for much of her later life, was really heavily involved in UNICEF, and I had no idea about that. Marilyn Monroe, I mean, there's a lot of stuff there. She had a number of miscarriages. Judy Garland had 5 husbands.
Five?
Yeah,
Incredible.
5, yeah.
And of course, isn't one of her daughters Liza Minnelli?
Yes, and I've got some footage of Liza and Judy together performing together, which is included in the show. But yeah, they're absolute minefield of information about the three of them. It's really interesting, actually. I have enjoyed learning about them.
What about when it comes to costume?
Aha!
Yeah, I knew that was going to come up. Yeah,
that's the fun part. So what I have is a costume for each of the sirens. So for Judy Garland, it is, of course, Little Dorothy's outfit from The Wizard of Oz. For Audrey, it's the iconic black dress and gloves and tiara from Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Lovely.
And any guesses for Marilyn?
Oh, it's got to be the white dress.
Yeah. So
Happy birthday, Mr. President.
Of course, the white dress and a wig, because obviously I have dark hair and Marilyn does not.
Do you have a favourite of the three, now that you've studied them all?
Are you like, they're all my babies?
They're kind of, yeah. I'm like a proud mother in a weird way. I think actually my favourite will probably be Audrey.
Really?
Yeah. I think she just... out of sort of studying them and learning about them, I really think that Audrey actually managed to sort of stay true to who she was. Yeah. And Hollywood didn't frazzle her brain, whereas with Judy and Marilyn, they really kind of fell prey to that.
Was Judy more musical of the three, would you say?
Yes.
You know, the other two I would consider actresses as opposed to being singers.
Yeah, absolutely. I think completely you're right. I mean, Audrey had to be dubbed in quite a few of her films, including My Fair Lady. Marilyn was a singer, but she was never confident as a singer. And she's not really remembered for that so much. So yeah, Judy would be sort of the true musical theatre performer.
With, of course, Somewhere Over the Rainbow, I'm sure that's included
that
in the
opens
repertoire.
The show, actually. So.
Yeah.
Oh,
what are some of the great songs that you're going to be performing?
So I'm doing 3 for each siren, and then between that we've got information about their life. We've got this footage. So for Judy, it is Somewhere Over the Rainbow, the trolley song, which you heard a little bit of just then, and The Man That Got Away. For Audrey, it is, I'm trying to think, Could Have Danced All Night, which is a lovely one from My Fair Lady. Swonderful, which is a jazzy one. And, of course, Moon River. And for Marilyn, it's obviously Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend. I Want to Be Loved by You, and also Bye Bye Baby.
Yeah, and this, of course, is going to be at the venue. I know Steph's a massive fan of the act.
It's awesome. Yeah,
it is cool.
It's so cool. And I think it really fits this show quite well because it feels a bit sort of underground, which is ironic because it's on the 42nd floor of the Shangri-La Hotel. It's the highest theatre in the world.
Yeah.
But yeah, it feels like a little bit secretive, kind of like you have to knock on a door to get in type of thing. And that fits with the Hollywood glamour feel. It's awesome. It's such a cool venue.
What I also like about the act is that anywhere else in the world, you can be really risque. Whereas I feel like at the act, because you kind of can't, because we're in the Middle East, we're in Dubai, you get more entertainment.
You do.
Because you just don't get that risque bit, the shock factor.
Yeah.
You have to actually be entertained, and I love having dinner and being entertained.
Yeah,
it's brilliant.
And we've got an amazing Peruvian chef who's doing a 3-course dinner to pair with the show. So it's a full on night of it. Really.
Have you had to study the mannerisms of them all? Are you going to be kind of acting like them when you're out there?
During the songs, yes. So what I've done to avoid kind of impersonating them, because I think there's a fine line between doing that well and it looking a bit tacky.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing is during the songs, I'm very much as that woman. But the sort of the dialogue and the things between is more kind of me. Okay. But the mannerisms are really interesting because Judy Garland just did crazy stuff with her hands for no real reason. I can't figure it out. And Marilyn obviously is very sort of sexual and flirty and all of that, and Audrey somewhere in between. So yeah, it's been interesting watching them as much as listening to them.
And how long is the show? When will it start and what time does it end?
It's just for one night. It's on Saturday, and I believe it starts at 8 p.m. and with dinner in between, I reckon it will probably be finished by about 10:30 probably.
Great.
So one night only?
Yeah.
One night only.
And what's going to be next for you after this one night only?
Well, I mean, I'll be carrying on with my work that I do. So I do MC work around Dubai as well as singing, obviously. I've got a Christmas trio called the Christmas Bells, 3 lovely girls from the UK, and we're doing sort of performances around the festive period, New Year.
Great.
Next year, I'm teaching a adult musical theatre course, which should be interesting. And hopefully doing Sirens of the Silver Screen Part 2. I'll just have to pick 3 new
singers.
3 new ladies, yeah.
It's a lot of hard work to do it once, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It is, yeah. But I mean, it's kind of a labour of love. I have really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And it's nice to create your own work and think there's something there that wasn't there before. So that's nice.
And can people just show up on the night?
They can, yeah. You can also book tickets. So you can do that by emailing reservations@theactdubai.com. If you want to call instead, you can, which is 04355 1116.
Fantastic, Beth. It's been great to have you on the show.
Thank you very much.
And hear your voice. Good luck with the Sirens of the Silver Screen.
Thank you.
Thanks, Beth.
Right. We'll go to the news, I think. And then we're going to be talking tech, of course, with our man Omar.
And top tech Christmas presents,
Yeah,
anyone?
I know. I hope he's brought me a hoverboard in.
Everything you hear on The Ticket, you can find online.
Check out the blog at DubaiI1038.com.